Hi.
Ever wanted to just switch off your brain at the beginning of a workday and switch back on at the end? That's the premise of Severance. It's a dystopian black comedy sci-fi thriller with a retro futuristic setting. Here's 5 books to read after watching Severance. George Orwell practically invented the idea of an Orwellian state when he published 1984 in June 1949. The story takes place in a then future 1984, a time of constant global war, rampant government surveillance and state-sponsored propaganda. The story's main character, Winston Smith, is a worker at the Ministry of Truth, employed to rewrite historical records to fall in line with the state's ever-changing version of history. 70-odd years after publication, 1984 still packs all of its punch as a commentary on surveillance states and their ability to shape the way we live. In their recent re-review, The Atlantic said, quote, 1984 will always be an essential book, regardless of changes in ideologies, for its portrayal of one person struggling to hold on to what is real and valuable, end quote.
The work is mysterious and important.
That's good, that sounds just like me.
One of the joys of Severance is watching Adam Scott and the cast slowly assemble the pieces of this intricate puzzle called Lumen Industries. A similar puzzle can be found in Susanna Clarke's Piranesi, whose main character finds themselves sort of trapped in a cryptic memory museum. It's a place filled with endless white halls, inland seas, and crumbling Roman statues. It's truly bizarre, one of the most unique settings that I've read in a very long time. Here's how it begins, quote, I've climbed to the upper halls where clouds move in slow procession and statues appear suddenly out of the mists. I've explored the drowned halls where the dark waters are carpeted with white water lilies. I've seen the derelict halls of the east where ceilings, floors, sometimes even walls have collapsed and the dimness is split by shafts of grey light. End quote. Like the best parts of Severance, Piranesi is a bizarre unfolding puzzle that keeps you guessing right to the end. The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa takes place on an island under the control of an authority called the Memory Police. It's an authority with the power over meaning itself. Citizens of this island live under the constant threat of surveillance and abduction, as around them everyday objects have their meaning and memory removed. Only a select few people retain any memory of past objects, people, and places, and these survivors must hide from authorities or face removal themselves. If Severance manages a balancing act between tense surveillance thriller and comedic corporate satire, Memory Police is a much more sobering cautionary tale of the role of memory and trauma.
It's literally silly. Like they say, you all have pouches.
Pouches?
But if puzzles aren't your thing, what about the office itself? We have all spent time in offices. We all know how strange and bland they can often be. On the eve of the 2008 financial crisis, Joshua Ferris released his novel Then We Came to an End. It's a biting office satire set in an advertising agency. The inhabitants of this agency play pranks on each other, attend meetings, compete for office furniture, as the agency around them hits a downturn and the work slowly dries up. Here's an excerpt, quote, We thanked each other. It was customary after every exchange. Our thanks were never disingenuous or ironic. We said thanks for getting this done quickly, thanks for putting in so much effort. We had a meeting, and when the meeting was over, we said thank you to the meeting makers for having made the meeting. Very rarely did we say anything negative or derogatory about meetings. We all knew there was a good deal of pointlessness to nearly all the meetings, and in fact, one meeting out of every 3 or 4 was nearly perfectly without gain or purpose. But many meetings revealed one thing that was necessary, and so we attended them, and afterwards, we thanked each other. End quote. Rob Hart's 2019 novel The Warehouse is a techno-thriller set in a near-future dystopia ruled by global shopfronts and cloud technology. Citizens of this very relatable yet very near future work for the cloud, and it has become so large, this company, that there are almost no jobs that aren't with the cloud. The warehouse is probably about as near future setting as you can get. It's 2 steps in front of our own present, as companies like Amazon, Uber and Google expand so fast and we barely have enough time to catch up. NPR said in their review, quote, "The Warehouse is a fun, fast-paced read full of well-developed characters and a plot that builds to an explosive finale. Comparisons to Amazon are easy to make, and that's precisely what should worry us the most." That is it for this episode of Cover to Cover. It is our first episode, so please go easy. We're still learning the ropes. But if you've enjoyed this list, hit the thumbs up and click the bell to subscribe so you get notified when our next one drops. Otherwise, say hello in the comments and let us know what would be on your Severance list, and enjoy whatever you're reading this month.